like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. And I drive me around in your red Ford, shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding,
Welcome back to the Quack and Smite
Here we go.
Vision. This is the second set of the day. My name is Raptor. Joining me is the always wonderful Uchi. And Uchi, after set number one, are you ready for this set right here?
I am, man. Looking over here, seeing some people that I know. As we do see this Kepri band, we talked about the last set going around.
Yeah, Kepri, a very strong support and doing a lot of work in that game one. It was a worthy respect ban. There in that second game, I should mention that we are watching the Priests versus the Journeymen, and so this is one that I had circled on my radar. I was super excited to get into this game, and we had actually casted their amateurs match yesterday, and that was the match of the week. It went to 3 games, so I'm super excited to see how the deep sea divisions for these two orgs go. Continue on with the picks and bans, though, we see the Daji following up that Kepri for the Priest, and then Thor Hades on the other side. And once again, there's that Naja ban. We talked about it a little last game, but this is the second time we're seeing this Naja.
Yeah, like I had said, this Najah just able to provide so much setup right now, man. We still see the Guan open as well. Sometimes I wonder, is Najah really worth it? Do we know they're gonna pick something that he can just set up for?
Well,
Or
you got to think about what else is up. You mentioned the Guan. Yamoja's actually up. I didn't even actually notice they banned the Cupid. So we have Guan Yu and Yamoja. So you got to think one of those two is going to go top pick here for the Priest, right? Which one would you prefer in that top pick slot?
I think the foremen get the first pick here, and they're gonna grab the Emoja. Then it will turn around for the Cabrakan insta lock over here on the side of the Priest. Yeah.
Yeah, it is Journeyman first. My apologies. But yes, that is that is a Yamoja first pick. So that answered my question. But they return it with a Terra Cabrakan. So, surely that's Cabrakan solo Terra support, right?
I don't know. Somebody, player named Sir Ionicus, he likes running that Terra solo. I've seen him be quite successful on it as well. So, maybe.
Okay, but let me ask you honestly here. When was the last time we looked at Sir Ionicus for the meta? I love Mr. Ionicus, so I'm allowed to take digs at him.
Yep,
But
yep.
so far, I just want to comment on something real quick. We have 5, count it, 5 magicals locked in the top 5 picks.
Your time.
When was the last time we saw this? And 4 of them are Guardians.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. Top 4 or top 2 from both sides being Emoja Cthulhu, Terra Cabrakan. Seeing that Morgan again though, it looks like we're going to go for that double Cthulhu type of vibe again.
Yeah,
over
yeah,
here.
we saw the Starhoppers try and pull that out, but we didn't really see the double Cthulhu much. The only time we actually saw the Morgan turn into the Cthulhu was was after Stampy had already fallen. But here comes the Nemesis. No Achilles to back it up on this time, but this I've said it before and I said it again. Nemesis is my favorite guy in the game, and her best picks are when the opponent can't go anywhere. That's why she's a great pick into Jean Kui. That's why she's a great pick into Sylvanas. That's why she is the, yes, the counter to Cthulhu and I absolutely love this Nemesis pick into the Cthulhu.
I argue that Charybdis is a bit better, but going back into these
Oh,
picks,
okay, biased. I see. We
yeah,
got a little bias here
a little
between our
biased.
two favorite gods.
Yeah. Well, technically Tsukiyomi is my favorite guy, but as far as hunters go, Charybdis definitely up there. I just think the way she can proc the Quins is a bit quicker than the Nemesis in some cases. However, going back to the game at hand real quick, we got the AMC band, the Lance, and the Humbats. I want to get your opinion real quick on these Lance bands we're still seeing going around. What do you take on the Raptor?
Yeah, Lance has kind of fallen out of favor. So from what we've seen in a lot of the scenes, his spot has really been taken over by Thor, Ratatosker, Naja, um, which two of those three were banned already. But this Lancelot pick, especially when you already have the Cabrakan and Terra, I'm not sure you're that scared of it because you have walls to shut down his ultimate, to shut down his horse. You have easy ways to stun him. And so I'm very curious as to why they banned the Lancelot. Now, all that being said, Lancelot still does a ton of damage. Like Lancelot will two-shot your backliners if you're not careful as a support. So I can't understand from there, but I'm very curious as to what else they could have banned.
I should have
But with
created a
this
world that
Tiamat
you
being
do
picked
not
up,
exist in.
that's of how do you feel about Tiamat? Because I haven't seen her be played a whole lot, and when I have, she doesn't get a whole lot of success out of her.
You know, Tiamat's one of those mages to me.
They will
Not too
obey
familiar with match
their
but I
goddess.
do play a fair share of Tiamat. She's one of those mages where you want to get in there in that action in that fight. You know, if you're in your flying stance, throw your minions in a lane that needs some help, or maybe the lane that's ahead. You know, just give them more pressure. Go back. Just keep your ground stance down. Keep it at the ready. You can pass buffs to your teammates. You know, somebody wants the red buff. Maybe Nim's feeling pretty quick. It's not common, but maybe hasten Katana somewhere in there. Give the Nim the red buff, a little bit extra power. I do want to say so far I am liking. I mean, it's kind of like what we saw, this last set. I'm liking the side of the Foreman over here with this comp they got brewing right now.
Yeah, the Journeymen do have a very strong comp, especially going into that late game. Their jungler doesn't quite know what he wants to do. He started with hovering the Susano, then he hovered the Awilish, and now he's back to hovering the Susano. I think if he goes back to the Awilish, I'm just gonna say he's trolling. But
I
the
don't.
Susano, we saw the Susano versus Nemesis matchup last game. The Susano came on top as that Susano does end up getting locked in, and we saw it going back and forth. We saw some 1v1s go in the favor of Susano. We saw some go in favor of Nemesis.
Glory be to my
How do you feel? How do you feel this Nemesis versus Susano matchup actually fares in favor of one or the other?
Uh, I still believe just because of the amount of the CC, I think I gotta give it to the Susto when it comes to the jungle. I think just the CC and the displacement he can bring in the earlier levels. Until that Nim hits that level 20 mark, full build where she can just get in like two tap the squishies to herself. I just think the Susanoo is going to be a bit more oppressive. However, I do want to say, seeing this Uller locked in, Uller more of a Heartseeker kind of god, not a Quinn size kind of god. How do you think that's gonna fare in with this maybe possible double Cthulhu ult? You
So
know,
anyone who knows me and what hunters I like to play, you'll know that I absolutely adore Ull. He is one of my favorite hunters to play. And that's not a very popular opinion to some people I know. But this I love this Ull. I just don't know how it fares into the Ishtar. I haven't seen that matchup very much. How's this Ull, especially looking at the duo lane as a whole? This Ull Terra, I'm assuming it's an Ull Terra versus a Ishtar Yamoja. Who do you favor in that lane?
I just think the wave clear is just gonna go to the side of the journeyman here. I I think the Ishtar with the emoji, the emoji is going to keep the Uller from being able to maybe fully hit that full arrow. Is this a pause we got going, bro? Here?
It is a pause indeed, but I do want staying on picks and bans. What what um what team do you have? What draft do you favor? You've got the Cthulhu versus Kabrakan solo lane, so you got the Guardian solo lane. You've got two very mid to late game junglers in their own rights and in their own ways. I'm just very curious. Who do you favor between these two drafts?
Uh, with the early game, I think I gotta give it to the side of the Journeymen. If they can hit late, this Uller's got this Heart Seeker. He's able to spam these axes and arrows. You got Rose over here able to get these stuns on the Terra. I think they got a good chance for the Priest if they can get to late game. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say early Journeyman, late Priest. I'm in one of those split talks that I've had before.
So, on that note, what do the Journeymen have to do to get such an early lead that they can really take away from this game, even if it does get to late game? Like, are they on a timer or anything?
I think you get some of those shred items on your Nim. Like I said, I think this Uller needs to be prioritized to get ahead here at the same time. Tiamat, even if she gets the Soul Reaver, it's not going to be, in my opinion, as big as a procker as it is if you get a spamming Uller, Nim with that Quinn size, maybe possibly somewhere in the build, since we don't have a hunter that procs the Quins very well. Kind of the bane of Cthulhu.
Yeah, he really is, and I'm curious to see how that Ul does go. As you said, that Kins, we saw it do such big work last game, and I am just very curious how he's gonna be able to handle that Cthulhu without that Kins. It does appear we are having some technical difficulties with the spectator, so we are going to go right into game anyway, and I am very curious. Look, I don't know how to. Okay, so the Morrigan versus the Tiamat, right? Two late game gods. Tiamat. I don't know how to word this. I'm trying to think of the right way to word this. How do you feel that the Tiamat fares into the Morrigan?
I think that's gonna be more of a patient game in mid lane. That's why I was saying focusing on these outer lanes, I think is gonna be the bigger battle for these two teams at this point. Will the Cthulhu get ahead and be able to run it down for his team a bit earlier than this Kabrakan? Or like I said, I see the wave pressure as we see here. Just Ishtar and Yamoji just able to out clear this Uller and Terra right now. But as I pointed out, also I think late game I favor Uller in the matchup against Ishtar. If he can jump that ult to where she can't get that stun off, I think she'll be running he'll be running pretty strong.
Yeah, I agree, but it appears we do have a pause as Zombie, the ult that you were just talking about, actually has disconnected from the match. And with that, we are going to take a quick break while we figure some things out. So please don't go away.
Watching the ocean with you, baby, up with a slow motion crew, and we up in our clouds when people change, but not us, and we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun, could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey, and I don't need to speak a single word. You got me holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it, and I don't need to speak
again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out, 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 I can help you out. Here we go again. Time is up and I'm calling up my friends. Ain't no wonder why, ain't no one to ride to. Here we go again. Call me up and you wanna be my friend. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on a full moon. And we're stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding, holding. Play me like a bass guitar. Simmer down and
And welcome back to the QSL Season 7, Week 3. I apologize for that. We did have some technical difficulties getting Zombie and Josh back into the game, but we are back now. And Mr. Uchi, I am so very curious. Looking at these builds, look at, you got a Tainted Steel on the Cthulhu while also going Lifesteal. I just find the I just find the Devil Advocates build funny, but
Oh no.
do you think the Tainted Steel is gonna do work? Do you think Tainted Steel is worth it in this game?
Yes, I do actually, for the fact that you already see that Bancroft's. I'm assuming, I'm hoping it's not Titan's first, but you already see that Bancroft's getting built on Titan over here. I think that's gonna help put off the edge. I'm assuming he's going what's gonna be a Pythags. You know, get that health up for that that ability cooldown. Gives you that life steal and make this Ishtar who's building Devos late game help a little bit more.
Well, it looks like Zombie once again DC, so we do have another pause. I apologize about that, but we did see a bit of a gank over there in the right lane. Both Gumbo and Powa. That's just a fun name to say. Powa. Powa. But they both came over, and Titan feeling worse for wear because of it. This Susano, how do you think he fares ganking this Cabrakan? Because I've already talked about how Nemesis is a really good counter to Cthulhu whenever she comes over. How about the Susano into the Cabrakan?
You know, if he gets that lift off on that 3, if he can juke the 1, I think Susno not too shabby into this Cabrakan. So this Cabrakan does get the Bancrofts online. I think at that point it's gonna be a bit harder for the Susano maybe, not having tank there. But we do see, you know, Titan back full health, still got his blue. Oh,
How
we do see,
chasing down Gumbo. They did meet in the jungle, but he is going to be able to make it over to Royal Titan. But Gumbo goes back in, and Powa picks up first blood for the priests. And just like that, the Nemesis getting off to a bit of an early start. And as I said in the last set, if you can keep Susano down, especially as a Nemesis, you will prosper greatly. But over here in the left lane, a bit of a fight for the Harpies. And Brokenzoid falling very low, but he will be just fine, be able to make it out. Zombie not able to do the damage just yet, not quite having that Transcendence finished.
Yeah, you know, until you get that trans online on Uller, you know, you gotta play a bit more safer with those abilities, make them really count.
Yeah, you really do. Oh, a nice double stun, but the Ishtar just not able to follow up on it, or maybe she is. Kregafro making the Zombie feel it, falling very low, and on the other side, Royal Titan fell very low as well. Over there, just trying to secure his blue buff, which he does. But this duo lane, a lot of pressure coming out for the Yamoja and Ishtar, almost as we expected.
Yeah, you know, like I said, I think Ishtar is just gonna, you know, with the wave player, she's just gonna win this early pressure off this lane, having this Yamoja as well. I think where this Ulla will start to shine against this Ishtar is once you got that, you know, that mana sustain, that cooldown, starts to get some of that just really big burst that you can, you know,
Yeah, it really does. I am just noticing something actually. Instead, we see a teleport for the Cthulhu, but we see beads for Royal Titan on this Cabrakan. Why do we see beads for him?
You know, I'm pretty sure that's gonna go into that whole Susano Cthulhu coming up with that thing. You know, he'll know going in if they're gonna try to play Big Boy Cthulhu. You know, get the Cthulhu ahead, be chilling. So you know, just I think a safety precaution recognized here by Titan, pretty good one. Recognizing I just need to be able to survive if that Susano shows up. I can get there for that farm, just pop my one from base.
Yeah, he really does, and he is getting a lot of lane pressure on this Cabrakan, which I wasn't really expecting. You know, those tremors from Cabrakan, he can really just clear a full wave, and Cthulhu doesn't have a very good way to stop him. He has to use his dash to. Instead, double ultimate coming out here. The stun does not hit Zombie, unfortunately, who was trapped inside that River's Rebuke, and they will be able to get to towers safely. But on the right side, Gumbo looking to maybe gank. Powa is nowhere near. He knows the blue buff is coming up. He's just waiting for Titan to come over. But because Corbin, I'm sorry, he was seen by minions, he knows the plan. I don't think he knows that Gumbo's here, though. I think he thinks it's just Titan, so he's looking for the steal. I'm very curious to see how that goes, but a red buff invade instead will go in favor of the priest. Actually, no, Brokenzoid is wearing it, but oh, the blue buff invade. is successful, and they are able to take down Titan. Now it's 1-for-1, and the Journeymen out to a little bit of a lead, about 500 gold.
Yeah, you know, it's those little leads that start to stack up. You know, nobody just gets a full wipe usually in the beginning and just gets that far of a lead at the start. It starts with these little plays, these little wins that are making around the map right now.
Yeah, and getting that assist, that is, or no, Gumbo was able to pick up the kill onto Titan. My fault, my mistake. So he did die for First Blood, and that First Blood did go over to Paula, and he's still about a level, half a level down, give or take. He did just tick over to 6, but it feels like he's not hurting that much. And this Nemesis going into the Crusher, that's something that we haven't seen very much of recently. Recently, we have been seeing the Nemesis favor a Golden Blade or auto attack items like that. Why do we see her go the Crusher here?
You know, I can't remember where I heard this. I know it was one of the SBL jungles, but I think it's just that Eye Crusher combo right now is just, it's around the most damage you can do in this early game. I think just trying to keep up, be able to stick with this Susanoo, you know, who also got that Crushers, but I'm assuming he's going Boombas for this late game, just the spam pull around on this team. But I think it's just it's like one of those safety measures I was talking about with Titan. You know, just trying to make sure I can't just full out lose. I have a chance here.
Do you think we see Paua go a bit more into the ability-based tree of Nemesis? Because one thing I love about Nemesis is that she can really build just about however she wants, and she can make it work. With this Crusher, do we see her go a bit more of the... Oh, hold that thought, actually. Double ultimate traps in the Cthulhu, and Corbin will fall, but he does pull out 3 ultimates. The Terra, the Nemesis, and the Kabrakan all going down just to pick up Corbin. Is that worth it for the Priest? As actually, Paua isn't done yet. He's trying to shove Gumbo further back into his jungle.
Yep.
Man, he will retreat.
And to answer your question, I personally, I prefer those attack shred kind of builds on Nemesis myself. So I'm really hoping that we see this start to favor more of
Gumbo going in onto Paua. The River's Rebuke not able to catch him, and he will be able to blink out. And now Josh the Landlord actually using the Changeling transformation to turn into... Oh, what a pillar! By the Terra! Titan will still fall anyway. No way! That beautiful pillar goes to waste. Skizzy comes in now, but the Cthulhu transformation descent into madness, and Skizzy to the grave. But Corbin will fall as well to Pyros. And that's a 2-for-1, but it looks like the fight's not over as Paua rejoins the fight. And oh, a nice stun by Broken's way. But will it be enough to ignite another stun out of Pyros?
The jukes.
They're still chasing.
The mobility.
Paua and Gumbo so low. They're just trying to live. The supports are the only ones trying to get the kills.
Yep. I think that right there is just a beautiful showcase of the mobility between these two junglers. You know, Susanoo and Nemesis, two very mobile junglers, just able to dodge each other multiple times there. I think that was a beautiful standoff by Gumbo and Paua.
So, wait, it was a 2-for-1, right? That so much happened there after the kills. No kills even happened. That's the crazy part. But I believe that was a 2-for-1 in favor of the Journeymen still, and that does even up the kills and give the Journeymen a bit more of a lead, given it is only 200 at this point. And oh, actually in the duo lane, a 1v1. They just jump and dash past each other. The beads are used by Craig to get the kill, and Zombie will fall. Zombie's 2 levels down. How did that happen?
I think that's just what I'm talking about. You know, you see that this Ishtar has been able to outclear over here, you know, level 11 to the level 9. I think it's just, put in Frank ADC tank. This Depo's good right now, man. That sustain that you can just get if you get that spread shot with Ishtar in these fights. Oh, that was a beautiful pull.
A great siphon out of Gumbo. The counter rotation right onto Josh the Landlord. though separates the team fight perfectly, and the descent into madness comes back. The double descent into madness as Josh uses the changeling to transform, and he will get a kill. Actually, Corbin will come in and get that kill. Josh might get the next. No, Pyros will survive alongside Skizzy, and now it's a 4v1 Titan against the world, and he will force all of them back. How did only Powa dive? Okay, well, Gumbo picks up Skizzy now, and he looks like he might pick up Pyros as well, though he is very low, and no, he will not get the kill. So that is a one for none. How did only one person fall in that entire fight?
I think that's just you know, showcasing the moveset abilities of these two teams right now. They seem to be able to juke each other very nicely. Taking a lot of work, a lot of re-going in at this low health for these fights between these two teams. I would like to point out though that showcasing that mobility again there was Gumbo on that Susanoo play.
Yeah, he really was, and ironically, 2 levels down, and Zombie doesn't care. He's the one pushing Kregerfro under his tower, but an unfortunate ultimate from Kregerfro does not catch Zombie. And with the rotation of Josh Landlord, that very well could have been killed if it did hit. But yeah. I am very curious. Actually, the fight's not over as Broke is rotating over. He doesn't have the River's Rebuke, though, so nothing's really going to happen. And Zombie was very well known.
Oh, he's not gonna go in. I was gonna say, bro, you're your Mojo. I think you at that point, you know, his dash is down. I think you just go in there.
The fighting across the world is not finished yet. Descent into madness used on Titan, and Titan is able to cage in Gumbo, but Gumbo wasn't the one tanking the tower, so he will be totally fine. And once again, Titan falls. This Kabrakan, he does finish that Warlock staff now, so he is able to start stacking, get a little bit more healthy, but he's just not able to stand up to this Cthulhu, and a lot of that is because Gumbo's constantly rotating over, and Pow was not.
Yeah. I would like to say, also, you know, you see a 2-level difference now. I'm gonna call it about a level and a half, not a full 2. It just switched, but you know, I do want to point out this Kregerfro, you know, getting ahead really. Ooh, Zombie about to go down as well to Gumbo. Gumbo now getting to 5-1 off that. But what I was trying to point out here is you got a 3-level lead now on Kregerfro over here on the believe, yeah. Purple. Looks like Skizzy may go down here to Gumbo as well.
A fight breaks out and a lot of ultimates used, but in the end, no one really falls besides the purple buff. The Sprout, a nice way to disengage, and that will be the end of it, though. Powa is looking for Gumbo and is about to get pinched, and I think he realizes that dodges out the stun from Yamocha, and that just might be the end of it. He's got to be careful, though. The shield is down. He does pick up the kill onto Powa. The stun, could it spell the end for him? It does. Kregerfro picks up the kill under tower. The Journeymen are just fight, and I don't think that's what the priests should be doing.
Yep, I agree. I think the priests need to farm. Like I said, they're coming for this chance to win this game. I feel like they're more passionate in the late game. Real quick, but while we're seeing this fight happen, though, I do want to point out also, you know, Brock took a second there. Was looking around after that fight. Was like, all right, who I got to auto, who I got to heal, and everybody was just full health, so he just stopped autoing and just walked back there. But we do see Titan just be able to go in on Corbin here.
That's one of the gimmicks of Royal Titan on this Kabrakan. Once he pops that one, no slow can stop him, no root can stop him. He is all in, and he with that Warlock's damage, with that Bancross, and now with that tier 2 book, which I believe he just picked up. I don't think he had that for the fight, come to think of it. He can really just go in on this Cthulhu, who doesn't have magical damage. He has the Manticore Spike and the Tainted Steel, which I believe that gives him 55 total, if I'm not mistaken. But probably actually, I believe it's 45. It corrects me on math if you know it, but he just doesn't have magical protection. And since he went that Contagion, yes, he has a Titan's not going to be healing, but you're not going to be stopping him. His damage, the gold free going down very low, and the priests do secure it. And Kregafro had to use his ult to try and get out of there, but the fight continues on the backline. And Descent into Madness goes up. Two Descent into Madnesses as the Changeling transformation gives Josh the Landlord that ability as well. But nothing more would come out of it. A fantastic disengage by the Journeyman, and all of a sudden, it was the priests who were fight, and the Journeyman who shouldn't have been doing it. And now the priests are really just taking it all towards the Journeyman.
Yeah, you know, back to where it looks like they're almost down. I'm just gonna call that 3K for now. But you know, able to bring that gold deficit back. Looks like they're able to get those right tower or oh no, I'm sorry. Flip the map around for a second. Does look like they do lose that 2-2 on right though. However, you know, they're making a comeback with this gold, and like I said, I think the biggest thing they gotta do is just keep up this farm, recognize their strength, and realize they need to get to this late game, whether it be them taking back the reins and control, or just you know, out trying to just scare their own farm, keep up with the levels, not let it get too outrageous.
Yeah.
Oh, Craig, going a bit under that half health there by Zombie.
By a Ull who's 4 levels under level. It just shows the power of Ull once he does have this Transcendence and Jotun's fixed. But I do want to add something onto this. The Journeymen are up almost 3K, almost 4K gold. And this is like, I'm very surprised to see that the priests are getting this active. They are this far down in just about everywhere, and yet they're still winning somehow. Their only lead, it was Skizzy in mid. How are they doing this?
I think they're just able to rally. You know, these guys, they scream together a lot, and I think they're able to just be able to try to pull off this synergy that they've been able to work on together. You know, rally together, recognize, hey, if we pull this combo off on this person or this one on this one, I think we have a chance here. You know, just keeping this farm off. I think your biggest concern right now is you gotta get Powwow. You gotta get him a bit caught up. You know, he's 3-2, but he is down 2 levels. We do see that Magi's Revenge coming out on him as well. Altogether, everything's looking it's looking like it's catching up on the side of Priest.
Bit of a fight might be breaking out here on the left as both team supports and everyone rotate over. But besides a stun onto Corbin, doesn't look like much more is going to come out of it unless Skizzy steps into the trap that is Gumbo. It looks like he's not going to. Now Gumbo's all alone, and he's the one that has to be careful. He's going to run into Powa, who does have that Magi's Blessing finished, and is not going to get pulled, and that's going to save his life. But now that Magi's is down for another 70 seconds, and Gumbo didn't have to use anything. If he wants to try that again, once everything's back up, he's free to.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we see he only has that 10% cooldown right now, but you know, Susno is still able, once he gets those abilities back up, he's got that burst right now.
Gumbo is over here looking for something alongside Corbin. Corbin blinks in and immediately goes into the Descent into Madness. However, the Terror Ult is going to give the Priest a bit of healing, and that might just be a wasted ult by Corbin. He's really not going to get much out of it. Instead, Gumbo actually falls to Zombie. I didn't even see what happened there. Gumbo just went from 100 to 0. It's just immediately, this Ull is really swinging. The Sprute might just catch out Corbin. It might spell his doom, and it does. Corbin will fall to Skizzy. And just like that, it's 2 for none off of an initiation by the Journeyman. And the Priest, there's nothing that they can really take, though.
You know, just that fight right there, like I said, I think the Priests are recognizing what they gotta do depending who they're going against. You know, it looks like not many ults are actually expended in that. Looks like most of them were down before that fight even took place.
Yeah, well, they did find something that he could try and take, and that's the Fire Giant. But then they immediately turn it and try and take Craig's life. It doesn't look like they're gonna find it though. They do force out the changeling ultimate, and Josh the Landlord goes up in the Madison. Josh the Landlord actually gets the kill onto Skizzy as the fight continues. Kregafro just trying to sling away. Josh does go onto Zombie, and Gumbo will be able to blink in and using the Typhoon get the kill. And oh, look at how low Pyros is. Gumbo's going to cut them off. This just might be a big double kill onto Pyros and Titan. For Gumbo, that's one kill. All that's left is Titan. He uses the ultimate, and he does actually get the kill onto Gumbo. Oh, but Titan, he might fall here. He has no mobility. At movement speed, it might give out. No, it doesn't. Corbin is able to pick him up just enough damage. And now look at this. The Fire Giant was started by the Priest. The Journeymen wiped them practically, and they immediately pick it up.
Yeah, you know, that was just great work there as a team by the Journeymen, I think. You know, also, we see Corbin just able to, you know, he wasn't able to get those cooldowns. I think it's with the main bomb was on Titan there to help out Gumbo. But Gumbo putting that work in, only falling because, you know, Cabrakan just, even that 3 at this point, it's hitting pretty hard. How much power does that Cabrakan have now?
Well, Journeyman pick up that that Gold Fury, and that is 450 power, and that's only gonna grow more and more. He still has to finish one book, but he's also double stacking, and that's something I want to talk about. He's not Baba Yaga. He doesn't get stacks passively. Why are we seeing him double stack with the Warlocks and the Book of Thoth?
You know, I think that's just that mana, so he can constantly 3, as well as that health. You know, Book of Thoth getting that flat pin now as well. So that's percent pin, flat pin. You know, once he upgrades his Bancroft, I'm assuming this is what he's going to be upgrading. You know, that claw going to be pretty neat. You know, eventually you get that Soul Reaver. I'm assuming that's a Polly he's going next, but you could even argue with the build he's got. You know, Bancroft's giving mana, Book of Thoth giving you a ton of mana. What about you know, Book of the Dead here? Kind of questionable, or
I don't like Book of the Dead here personally. I think that it is just a little out of mana. Out of meta. My apologies. But I would believe that is a poly, as you said. If he isn't going poly, then the Priest should kick him immediately after this match. Who said that? Anyway, looking at the rest of the map, the Priests are in no good shape at all. The only one on level is Skizzy. Everywhere else, they are 2 levels or more down. And that's just insane. I still can't believe that they were in this state pretty much the entire game, and they're still fighting as well as they did through that little portion. But now it looks like the Journeymen have really come together, started playing as a team, and it looks like they're gonna try and siege down one of these Phoenixes while that Fire Giant is still on them. A 4-1 split, the jungler in the left lane, everyone else trying to take this mid lane. This is very surprising. Normally it's the jungler in the mid lane and everyone else in the left. Gumbo really trying to go a blink in. Wait. Did Zombie just blink on Gumbo?
Yes, he did.
Is that not supposed to be the other way around? But in the mid lane, double Cthulhu Wall. What are you going to do about it? 2 Descent into Madnesses, and they just create so much space, but they haven't caught in that Phoenix yet. Pyro's falling very low, and Pyro's will. But the Phoenix will finally fall down. And oh, a nice stun onto Titan, and Titan gets evaporated. And now the base is broken. Win conditions for the Journeymen. And meanwhile, look at the Priests. All 6 towers are up for the Journeymen. They are in a very bad state right now, especially if this left Phoenix goes down.
Yeah, you know, Fire's still over here on the side of the Journeyman as well. We see a call treat, a retreat call, I'm sorry. You know, everything's but right Phoenix down now. You know, you got time on gold, you got time on Fire. Fire's about to expire, but I mean, you know, the next Fire being up. I think if you're, the journeyman, you're sitting pretty lavishly, pretty comfortable right now. You got at least one shot for a mistake right now if anything happens. You either lose all your towers or you lose fire giant. Outside of that, though, I think if you're a journeyman, like I said, you're just living comfortable right now.
So let me ask you this: if you are the priest right now, what are you thinking? Are you thinking let's just go to next game? Are you thinking we have to get this next fire giant? Are you thinking we just hope that and try and defend under Titan? What's your game plan if you are the priest right now?
If you're the priest, I think you just keep up this farming. We're seeing where that 3K lead has now become a full 10K again. So I think it's just coming down to this golden item diff as we see. Like, I mean, if you look at Cthulhu, for example, he's got contagion and the physical anti-heal breastplate. I think.
Oh, oh no, Gumbo! Gumbo
Yeah.
takes from zombie, but he also gets himself killed. Is that worth it? You take out the Ool who has had your number the entire game, but you pull the tectonic shift. So you get that the bracket all out, but is that worth it in the end?
Yes.
The rest of your team does get Fire Giant, but excluding that Fire Giant, because I think they would have gotten it anyway, is taking out that Ool worth your life if you're Gumbo?
Personally, I think if you're Gumbo right now, I think it is, and that's for the simple fact. If you look at this player damage on the side of the priest, who's number one? It is the Oler. That Uler's got that 40% cooldown right now. He's at the point he can upgrade that bluestone if he gets enough money. He looks like he's building that party seeker finally I was talking about early game. If you stop this Uler from getting these items that he needs ahead, like I said, I think this late game really falls into the hands of this Nemesis and this Uler. So
Big fight breaking out on the right side. Double descent into madness once again, just creating so much space, and that Phoenix falling very low. The tectonic shift, but once again trapping in Craigerfro, but he turns it right around. Rogue Titan is the one that falls. A great dash to trap Pyros, and Pyros will fall to Craig as well. And just like that, it's a 2 for none. 5 strong, 4 of them with fire giants, and they're running up. Actually, no, scratch that. Gumbo is not in the fight just yet, so this might not be as secure as they think. They might just be waiting for Gumbo to return, but they're not even gonna do that. They immediately go in. Josh trying to zone out Zombie, the problem child. But look at this, they're not fully committing. There's not good comms. They're so split, and now Broken's Wraith is so low. Gumbo is able to go in, take out Zombie once again. It seems like that's what his team had tasked him with doing, and now the Titan is the call. Down goes Howa to Josh, and down goes Skizzy to Gumbo. A double kill for Gumbo to end the game, and the Journeymen will take game number 1.
yeah, that right there, just beautiful teamwork I feel by the journeyman. As you said, a bit sprawled out towards that in there, but able to still find that Susno going in, getting the kill there on Zombie. Uh, I gotta give a lot of props here to Gumbo this game. He really came in with this setup, allowed the Corbin and Josh to be able to get in and do what they needed to do.
Yeah, he really did, and I gotta wonder if you look at the Braken's build, he didn't finish stacking either of those items, and I just gotta wonder if he had gone for something other than that Book of Thoth. You just gotta wonder how much more value he would have gotten from that item than that Book of Thoth that he didn't have fully stacked at all, so he wasn't getting that percent pen. He wasn't getting a full effect of that passive,
Yep.
and you can really see it in damage numbers. Only 13k.
Yeah. I feel I like the double stacking idea on Kabrakan. Personally, I didn't mind the build Titan was going there. I think you really got to simmer down, realize, like I said, I think if you're the priest, you just gotta play for that late game. You got the Kabrakan double stacking. Try and get those stacks finished before all this team fighting that was going on. I mean, we saw the priest able to kind of take the control for a little bit while they were that far behind. Maybe use that time, finish up getting some gold, get some items. You don't necessarily even with the towers up, you don't necessarily gotta go for those. Try to play for a gold or something when you got that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Then that's game one, folks. We still have one more match to play between these two teams, possibly two, depending on how well the Priest can adjust. But game one, Journeymen take it in pretty demanding fashion. Don't go anywhere, though. We will be right back.
And I've been chilling, watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chilling, kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
and this is still Priest versus Journeyman. Game one, the Journeyman won pretty convincingly. They had the Priest down that entire time. Going into game number two, what do you want to see done differently by the Priests? We're already seeing something where they're banning the Morrigan immediately.
Yeah, Morgan, personally, a pick I found very strong in the mid lane right now. Personally, I don't mind it being a top ban if somebody can play it like we just saw Josh do. The Mojo ban here too, recognizing, hey, we let that slip last time. I would like to whatchamacallit, say out of the priests. This game, if you go for one of those late game comps, I think a lot of people need to realize, we gotta get that farming done when we play for these late comps like that. So I'm hoping just recognize that. Other than that, there were times they were winning the fights, even being down. So I think this just comes down to who either gets the lead or is able to keep up with the lead that is given.
Yeah, and going back to these picks and bans, looking at the side of the Journeyman, we see the same two bans, Daji and Naja, but instead of the Kebri ban, they banned the Kabrakan, so taking that away from Royal Titan, and that leaves open the Kebri, which they take first overall.
You know, we saw Brock able to play that Umoja last game. Now we're gonna get to see him on the Capri. We saw this last night with the Legion game. Went from a Umoja to a Capri for that G3, able to pull off some amazing ults. So let's see here if Brock is able to do the same. I know he's quite a talented player.
Yeah, we also saw it earlier in the same division between the Starhoppers and the in the Star Harper's match, I'm sorry, and it did so well that it earned itself a first ban in the second set. So we'll see how Kregafro, or I'm sorry, Brockazoid is able to do on this Kepri. On the other side, though, we see a Cupid pickup, and Cupid. We saw this last set as well. We saw Cupid not really going anywhere in game one, and then in game two, it gets picked up very early on, and it ended up working out very well. So, how do you feel about the Cupid this time?
I think Cupid, like I've said before, he just brings that massive team fight ult to the table. If nothing else, or at least burn some beats. Because if you're in the middle of a team fight, say like around the corner from Gold Fury, where mid lane's at, you get caught off there. Cupid ult happens. You ain't got time for a dash or beads or down something. That's a tight situation to be in. So I just think Cupid brings so much to a team fight capability.
Yeah, and then we see him paired with the Achilles, who Achilles a great counter to Cthulhu, who they might have been expecting them to go back to, because that Cthulhu did do very well. But instead, it's the Hades that Corbin will be taking over into that solo lane, and you, you you've you've talked into you've talked about the Hades solo whenever it's banned. How about the Hades solo when it's picked?
I'm not gonna lie. I think this is gonna be a disaster seeing this going through. Hades just able to do so many things well over in the solo right now. Just clear, sustain. You're just vibing if you're Hades. You're just like when are we grouping up, guys? Basically. I'm hoping this Achilles on I believe it was Titan last game. Yeah. Titan. Hoping this Achilles goes well for him. I do like this Baba pick here though.
I am curious. I was just about to ask you. So we know the backliners and who will be dealing the most with the Hades, the Achilles during the early game, and then Cupid Baba during the late. How do you like those three picks into the Hades? Kind of ignoring the duo lane as of right now for the Journeymen, but those three picks, they'll be dealing with Hades the most. How do you like them in the different stages of the game?
Um, right now I'm giving just off top three. I'm giving early probably to the side of the journeyman. Um, Depending on what all happens here though, I think mid game's still just gonna run the side of the journeyman. But I think once that Baba's online, that Cupid's online, that Achilles is able to get in there, he has backup to get that ult off quicker. We'll see how it goes late game. I don't know. Early and mid, I'm gonna have to get to the side of the journeyman here first though.
Sounds good to me. Going back to picks, going back to the bans, I'm sorry. We see a Lancelot once again banned by the priest. They really do not want to see Gumbo on that Lancelot pick. And then a Wheelish, one of the counters to Hades game banned out by the Journeyman. They just don't want to see that a Wheelish. They really want to keep this Hades safe.
Yeah.
Rounding it out, it'll be the Clean Nut and the Ganesh as well. That I what how do you feel about these last four bands? Because I feel like they make sense, but at the same time, they're very unconventional.
I still question the Lance ban. It's just my personal preference right now. I don't think it's a ban worth banning. Especially, if you're the one that can get it, you see they banned Najah. I mean, outside of I think Kepri, what do they really got? The Ishtar ult? I think, Lance is a better pickup than a ban here. We do see Sylvanas locked in here though. That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, how do you feel about the Sylvanas? It's a pick that we don't see very often, but paired up with this Cupid, that's a very poignant
that will
kill lane. Speaking of not being picked up very much, Jing Wei. So
This
in
is
on
gonna
both
be
on
fun.
both sides, their duo lanes have one very meta pick, arguably top of the meta with the Kepri and Cupid, but then they both have that Sylvanas and Jing Wei. How do you feel about this duo lane
Argus,
early
to
on?
my side.
I don't know if this okay, so here's the thing with
Death
Sylvanas. There's about
awaits.
two ways to build him that I know of from sports that I have personally dealt with. You get that tanky build, you get that full kind of supporty build where you're meaty, your heals, you got phase hoops, that kind of vibe. The other type of build you can see on a Sylvanas is the mannequins type of build to try to get that pressure, which honestly I think Cupid can outclear the Jang Wei if the Jang don't start the two. I think that's the main way she'd outclear here, but
Are you
I don't
saying
know.
you're a Mannequin Sill fan?
I am saying when it comes to getting that pressure in the early game, it is phenomenal. The problem with Mannequin Sill is the transition to the late game, right? Because then you don't really have one of those starters like Sentinels or Benevolence that can be upgraded to be very impactful in those team fight situations. Yeah.
Okay, you saved yourself. I was about to disown you, my man. But we do have the bottom four picks altogether are extremely spicy. Let me list them out for you. Sylvanas, Jingwei, Hera, Thanatos. Now, tell me, out of those four gods, how many of them are the first time we're ever saying their name in this season of the QSL? I'll give you a hint. It's all four of them.
Really? That I did not know. That's pretty interesting. We see here.
Um, I actually didn't think about this. It just hit me. They have an Ishtar and a Jingwei.
Yep.
Who, who's the jungle?
The
Who do you think is the jungle out of those two?
I'm gonna have to say, bro, it can't be the Jang Jungle. I'm gonna have to say Craigafro here is gonna go jungle on this. No, we're seeing the Death Soul. We're seeing the eye out of Jang away. Everybody that knows me knows I actually find this to be one of the coolest jungles you can go because you're like a merc. You're just farming, until you get that crit online. So seeing a Jang jungle here is kind of making my heart skip a beat.
As we do hop into game, we do see it's the Jingwei Jungle Gumbo. Okay, so I was gonna ask you, Cupid versus Jingwei. Jingwei very safe. He doesn't really have to worry about the Cupid at all. Now, not only is he playing Jingwei Jungle, who's a very late game hunter, into arguably the earliest game assassin, he's trying to steal a blue buff.
Yeah, so this is really spicy here. As I said, I am a fan of loving people going certain
Please tell me he has
hunters.
his wind gust. If he doesn't have his wind gust, And he has the triple shot. He does have the wind gust. Okay. Oh, Titan sees him. Was it stolen? No, it wasn't. So that's a lot of wasted time on Gumbo's part. And immediately, like I was saying, actually, I just realized Zombie and Powa role swapped as well. So Zombie will be handling this Thana in the jungle. But this Thanatos wants to get out to an early start. Thanatos needs to get out to an early start. So what do you do to oppose him? You put Jing Wei in the jungle?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, this is just a spicy pick. I like it personally. We do see also no hog out of this wing way. That's usually something you see if somebody does go like a Jing or a Dons or Hollow Jungle.
Well, Josh is in a lot of trouble right now, and Zombie, the one who needs to get first blood, gets first blood. And the story just gets worse and worse and worse for the Journeymen, and we're only a minute 15 in, and Zombie is heading over to the Oracles and very well could be looking for a gank in that left lane as they are pushed up quite far. He is taking a lot of damage from those Oracles though. And Pyra is falling very low as well. Zombie does not look for that gank, instead heads back to mid. I really want to watch this Thanatos because I'm very curious to see how he plays it, knowing that there's a Jing Wei on the other side. Like, you're supposed to get pressure on him, but you both ticked over the 3 at the exact same time. If Zombie does not have a 5-level lead in like 5 minutes, I think that's just a waste of this Thanatos because you have all the pressure in the world on this Jing Wei.
Yeah, also something I'd like to point out, we've been talking about it. What do you think about this mannequin still here? Looks like we're still losing lane pressure over there on the side of the priest and dual lane. Do you think it's just Ishtar?
I think that the priests lose just because of that. And I'm not I know I'm being very cruel here. Mannequin still falls off harder than Thanatos, and Thanatos falls off very hard if you don't have a massive lead. Look, I get the point of Mannequin Sylvanas. If you're cheesing with Mannequins or with Sylvanas ADC or something like that. But in a comp setting, when you have Sylvanas as a support, you just can't survive, especially when they have a Hades, when they have a Hera, when they have a Khepri. I just don't see Pyro surviving ever after 5, maybe 10 minutes if he's lucky. And I just don't like this pickup at all. And I honestly think that will cost the priest the game. You can quote me on this now. That Mannequin Sylvanas will cost the priest the game, no matter how good Zombie is doing. Speaking of which, he is coming over for a gank on this right side, and Corbin just does not care because he knows he's 5 and Zombie is not. But he won't go for the ultimate. Instead, he'll just let Zombie be and try to clear the wave.
Yeah, I mean, you see it here. This is what I was talking about. Why Hades is just so aggressive over here. His ability to outplay it.
Well, there's the ult. And oh, and nice beads from Zombie. Both of them barely getting out, but Gumbo is right here. But hey, guess what? He's a Jing Wei. He doesn't have a good way to actually stop any of those backs and get the kill.
I love that.
Then what is this game, dude?
I don't know, but I do want to say, Gumbo, if you can hear me, that little hop right there, I felt that, my brother. I felt that. But, as we see here, fight going over in the dual lane, beads out of Craigthrow, still getting burst down here. Khepri not 5 yet, so there is no ult to try to save this Ishtar. Although
Craigthrow does toss out the blades, though, and that will be enough to deter Pyros and Powa from getting any more kill potential on him. And okay, here's where you see the merit of Mannequin Sylvanas. Ooh, Scythe's taking a ton of damage out of Josh, but they did a lot of damage there, right? They cleared way very quickly, which allowed them to go on to the Ishtar. What does that do? What does any of that help when he rotates out of lane in 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes?
You know, I think just lets them just keep more pace, man. You know, I'm actually just looking. I'm wondering if this Khepri is about to go this Saw here, or if he's maybe trying to keep it spicy with this you know, this Jang everything. Maybe an early instant pickup, but
I
no.
wouldn't be surprised with how this game is going, but we are seeing a lot, like a constant red buff invades, which makes sense. You have a Baba Yaga, you have you have a Thanatos. Those red buff invades should just be continuous and on cooldown against this Hera Jing Wei. And now Sylvanas rotated over, it just makes it a heck of a lot easier. I don't even know what to make out of this game. I didn't even ask you how you felt about this game because I was so flabbergasted that they had two ADCs on the side of the Journeyman, and now I'm even more flabbergasted.
Yeah, you know, just double ADC right now is something that you'll see a bit more often than you used to. The thing that's really kind of surprising to me is like we had talked about, there's two ways to go this Sylvanas. This mannequin's like you said, when he starts rotating out, what's he really gonna bring? Because the whole point is to kind of win the duel lane, and I don't think duel lane was fully won over here on the side of the priest. So
Feels of love coming out from Powa just to pull the ultimate from Craig and do a bit of damage, taking him down to half health.
I'm sorry, Raptor. I want to bring up one more point too. Can we just take a moment to look at all the stacking items right now on all the teams?
Yes,
Just
we do have
going
7
off.
stacking items. And let me, while we get a chance, since Kregafro is
Oh,
gonna fall to the zombie, let's list out the names of all the non-stacking items. So we have Pestilence on the Achilles. We have, ironically, Thanatos isn't going a stacking item. He went Jotuns. And then we have Sovereignty on the Kepri. That's all the non-stacking items in the game currently. Yes, that's all of them, which means the other 7 items are stacking items. And if I sound a little upset, I'm not upset, I promise. I'm trying to wrap my head around what is going on here as we see a blue buff invade. Royal is 2 levels down once again, and he's supposed to ult away from that Hades ultimate, but another red buff coming in, home sweet home coming out, doing lots of damage. But look at Pyros, he's not tanky enough to stay in there. He does use the Wrath of Terra to do a little bit more damage. So Josh Landlord is able to pick him up, but that stun should be enough. Oh, fantastic! Scare's Blessing saves the life of his mid laner. Josh Landlord gets out of there just slightly, and Skizzy sadly is not able to pick up that kill to avenge his mannequin Sylvanas. That's a 1 for none right there. I'm not even sure who got the red buff. I believe Josh the Landlord did secure his red buff.
Yeah, he did. When that Khepri brought him back, that's what I was kind of laughing about there for a second. Was he just casually walked, picked it up, and walked away?
Why was that the most normal thing in this game? That one fight at the red buff 8 minutes in was the most normal thing to happen in this game so far. Explain it to me, Uchi, please.
I can't really give you no answers. I think this is absolutely crazy. I don't know if you're seeing this, but the amount of word coverage here on this mid lane, like this whole back middle part of the Journeyman side of the lane, like going from solo all the way to dual lane. They just had it marked up. One just went down, but it was just a full line going across the middle right there.
They have Zombie's number. Zombie does have his ultimate, so I don't know how much trouble he's in. Okay, scratch that. Zombie does go down to the Jingwei jungle, and Corbin comes in to pick up Skizzy as well, but on the other side, Powa picks up Kregafro with the help of the mannequin Sylvanas. I'm not even going to call Pyros anymore. He's just the mannequin Sylvanas for the rest of the game. I hope you're happy. But
He's just the pie right now. He's not the pie rose, just the pie.
no, he's the mannequin Sylph. He doesn't deserve to say as if his name said. He's playing mannequin Sylvanas. The red buff is being invaded once again. That mannequin Sylvanas, hey, it's doing something good for once. Did help them burn that down. But now completely caught out if they just want to turn on him. And it looks like they finally do. Brokazoid does pull him in, but Gumbo, he has his eyes elsewhere, trying to take down Power. He finally turns back around onto Pyros. The mannequin Sylvanas just running away, and Argus is not able to catch up to him, and that is going to be his life. Why do I feel like this? Why do I feel like this mannequin Sylvanas is just gonna prove me wrong and slap me in the face, and he's gonna be like, "No, we don't lose because of me. We win because I built mannequins." I really hope that doesn't happen.
That'd really be kind of curious though. Like I said, mainly the point of the mannequins is try to get that pressure in that dual lane, get your ADC ahead, and then by then, if you're ahead, mannequin still it claps. You know, we do see him 2 levels up over here over Rock. However, Zombie
Much trouble.
Zombie does have ult. He is going to go for it.
He goes into the ult, but Powa finishes him off beforehand, and now he might be looking towards Brokazoid. And Brokazoid is going to get pinched in here between American Sylvanas and an underleveled Thanatos. Let's see how it goes. Thanatos is actually the one falling, and Thanatos will fall to the jungle Jingwei. Gumbo picking up the kill. And now, a fantastic pull right into the airstrike from Jingwei, and a double kill somehow for the jungle Jingwei. He's 2 levels up. How the hell is Jingwei, who has Shadow Steel Shuriken, 2 levels up on a Thanatos? Uchi, make it make sense, please.
Okay. This goes into a little bit of personal bias, but a lot of people don't believe me when I say this.
Oh my gosh!
There's some proof to what I'm about to say. I am a firm believer in Jingwei jungle. I said it at the start of the game. It's kind of like Merc is the best way I'm putting it, right? Like we all know Jingwei. You pick on her, you make her like run away all game. And then that late game, she just comes at you like, hey, remember me? So when you get this jungle kind of stance and in this comp setting where you can just get a team it's gonna be there for you to like help get you ahead, like a Mercury, I think it's just devastating. It played.
Well, looking around, Royal Titan falls, and Zombie almost falls as well. Zombie misses the sight, and oh no! The Recall Souls misses Zombie, and he does not fall. All that's left is the mannequin Sylvanas to fend off a very fed Hades, a double stacking Hades. Why is everyone double stacking on these magical solos? Zombie walking in, trying to get his speed buff, but the jungle Jingwei zones him out, now 3 levels up. I don't even want to cast this anymore.
Like this is what I'm saying though. Like I know a lot of people always think it sounds crazy, but it's a Jang jungle, man. I'm telling you, it is something that a lot of people just don't think about. Like you see this Ishtar here, recognizing the Jang has to go this crit build. Basically, it's never played Jang. Jang kind of a crit god as far as the ADCs go. But, recognizing that, going for this attack speed build, which I personally do prefer. So, I think this trade-off with this double ADC here is just going phenomenal.
Zombie, only level 10, 3 levels down to Jingwei jungle. Over here trying to catch out Kregerfro, but now he's met with a Khepri who's the exact same level as him. I don't even know how that happened. And Zombie just trying to get out of there, but instead he gets plucked right back in, and he's gonna fall to Kregerfro. Zombie got off to such a hard start, and now it's really falling off. And the American Sylv showing what American Sylv can do against a Hera 14 minutes in, as he is forced to retreat.
One thing I do want to say though, you see right here, only a level down on this mannequin Syl on the this Hera.
He's a level up. He's half a level up on this Khepri.
I was talking about the Josh. He's only a level down on Josh, the mid lane here for the Journeyman.
Ooh. The mannequin still missing a pull onto Corbin, which is honestly probably a good thing. I don't think you want that Hades anywhere near your team. On the right side, though, Brokazoid showing what an actual support can do to a carry. and he does not. He is forced to retreat. But on the right side, a great ultimate out of Zombie, but he's gonna pay for it. He's gonna fall. Corbin picks up the kill, and Home Sweet Home should be able to pick him up, and it does. Skizzy is able to take down Corbin, but Skizzy immediately gets turned on by the Hera, and now the Jungle Jingwei just wailing on the mannequin Sylvanas, and he's on a rampage. He's 5-0. Does the teams just need to ban this Jingwei from Gumbo? Let me repeat that again, dude. Teams need to ban this Jingwei from the jungler Gumbo in the future.
I'm telling you, like, nobody ever listens to Yuchi. If you are somebody that is a great jungle that can play Jing, I'm telling you, it actually is great.
On the right side, Gumbo takes down Royal Titan. Powa almost falls,
and he did.
and now is the battle of the junglers. But Jumbo is 5 levels up. An ultimate with the beats takes it around. A double kill. Gumbo is unstoppable. Why? Uchi, stop praising this. Tell me why.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to exactly what I said about 5 minutes ago. It is exactly like Merc. You just feed it, and it's unstoppable.
Ready for anything.
Also, do not try this at home.
Okay. Okay, so
et cetera, et cetera.
So let's look at something normal, okay? Let's look at hunter builds. Hey, look, they're completely normal. You've got the attack speed build coming out of Ishtar and the crit build coming out of Cupid. How do you feel, especially on those specific characters, those two builds feel? As I can't even talk about that, as Corbin blinks in right onto Zombie, and he will take him down with the ultimate as the junglers just ramp. The Jungle Jingwei is just wailing on him, but the Mannequin Sylvanas does use the Wrath of Terra and is doing tons of damage to Corbin, but Corbin does not fall. Instead, in the backline, Powa takes down Josh the Landlord, takes down the Hera, and Gumbo takes no damage from that Fields of Love. A great pull, but pulls the wrong person. Instead, he could be turned on the Mannequin Sylv. But in the jungle, look at this Corbin still running for his life. A nice knock-up from Gumbo. Corbin will still fall, but now Gumbo is here and he is forced to run away. So that's important to note. Scare's Blessing was up that entire time and was never used.
That I did not pick up, but something I'd like to bring to attention to while we have been discussing this Mannequin Sylvanas all game. You know, Mannequin's known as an offensive item. Whatchamacallit, you see 5,612 player damage to Kepri's 5,188 damage.
He's also the solo Achilles has done practically no damage at all. And ultimate comes in from Zombie, who is 4 levels or 6 levels down. I'm sorry, and he will level up as he assists Skizzy on picking up that kill onto Kregafro. My mind is broken. Why is Royal Titan dashing in on level 18 Jungle Jingwei? Lots of damage being poured out. But over on the left lane, this might be a bait. The Gold Fury is being pulled, and Brachiosaurus is actually the one falling. Skizzy picks up the kill, and the Oni Fury goes to the Priest. A little fight back from the Jungle Sylvanas & Co. Or Mannequin Sylvanas & Co. And, well, there's Royal Titan almost killing himself. He does almost pick up Gumbo in all fairness, but yikes, he was on the grayscale there.
Yeah, you know, grabbing that Oni Fury there, bringing it down to, I'm just going to call that 8K. I'm just going to call that an 8K.
It's about 2.5. It's 7.5, I'm sorry.
Yeah, either way, what was called the 8? Roll with thunder, you know, but, so catching up a little bit on that, you know, able to get picked there, able to secure that gold. We do see, though, at this point, they're just giving solo lane here to Gumbo. They're letting Corbin do these rotations, you know, just trying to make sure that Deathbringer's online now from Jangaway. 7-0 out of this.
Yeah, They do pick up the Pyromancer as well, and now a fight is breaking out around the Fire Giant, and tons of damage coming out onto Corbin, onto Gumbo. Does the Jungle Jingwei finally fall? A Fatal Strike is used to get in there, but Gumbo instead turns it around on Royal Titan. Howa also fell somewhere in there, and now the Mannequin Sylve, he is so doomed, and the Mannequin Sylve will fall for the 4th time in this game. All that's left is Zombie and Skizzy against the 5 strong. Zombie, though, going in on Craigafro, and Craig falling very low, and Craig will fall thanks to the ultimate from Zombie. Look at Corbin. He's all the way up there at the red buff, just trying to take it. And I believe he did get it. He did secure it from Skizzy, despite the home sweet home. And now look, a jungle battle in left lane. The fighting never stops. Gumbo wants to take down this Thanatos, but with the teleporting in from Royal Titan, I think that's the end. But Royal Titan wants to keep fighting, and with the pluck from the Brachiosaurus, it doesn't look like he has much of a choice. And that's finally the retreat call, or is it? Corbin goes in and deletes Skizzy, and now it looks like Gumbo, with the help of this Trebuchet, will take down that tower. Finally, I'm out of breath. That was nonstop fighting.
That was a lot happening right there, man. We see Gumbo here going to 8-0 on this Jingwei jungle. If that's what I'm thinking there, and that ends up being that exit, as I've been preaching all game, you know, love a Jingwei jungle. That Xe, that's gonna make that almost impossible to kill this Jingwei.
All right. I have to ask. You've been praising this Jingwei jungle so much. How much did you pay the Priest and Gumbo to make sure that this Jingwei jungle was 8-0 and did not lose immediately to a Thanatos?
You know, I would do that to bring my boy Dons back into the meta, but Jing's one of those sleeper picks. She can stay about mid of the totem pole, you know what I mean? But if we were seeing Dons here, I may have had some confessing up to do.
We do have to look at the weak spots. Because yes, there's strong points on the Journeyman, but look at the weak spots everywhere else. The only person on level is ironically this Mannequin Sylvanas, but on the backline, Corbin goes in, but he still has health. He took practically no damage. And Brokazoid ends up with the kill, because that's only perfect for how this game has gone, that between 4, the Kefri gets the kill. Josh the Landlord picks up the Mannequin Sylvanas. And now with both tanks down, they are looking to take this Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, we see right here too, you know, just power of that double ADC able to shred these objectives. I mean, just watch this Phoenix go down here while nobody's even...
Corbin caught power, and Corbin will fight, but he does take down the Cupid, and that just might be enough. Skizzy is getting melted. He does Aegis the knockup. However, the hovering death is up in the air. He wants to go onto Gumbo, but I think that he voted against it. And look at the crit! Look at the crit! Oh no, is Gumbo's reign of terror over? Why does the Jingwei jungle have a reign of terror? I'm not sure, but it does look that way. And the shutdown will finally go to Skizzy as Gumbo falls. 8-1. Oh my gosh.
Good job by Skizzy there, making sure that shutdown finally happens on that Jing jungle. We see that Seer the jungle here. I'm assuming they opted to sell that Xe they were looking at, get that Seer, and now it looks like they're pushing for that Silver Branch. Not a bad pickup, but I do think the double Xe here would have went pretty hard for this team. You know,
all right.
Hunter.
Let's play the game of count the stacking items. Once again, we had 7 before. Guess what we're at now?
Let's see. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4, we got 5, we got 6, we got 7, 8, and 9.
Yes, we have 9 as Goldtree breaks out, and the Journeymen do end up securing it. Zombie forced into the hovering death yet again, just to get out of the way. He's gonna land, but he's gonna land right into the hands of Corbin, or is he? Corbin instead Goes for
Oh,
Skizzy
good.
and a nice scythe. It doesn't heal him back up past half health. And the mannequin Sylvanas showing one of the weaknesses of Sylvanas is so easy to catch him out in this late game time. And the mannequin Sylvanas will fall. And now they're looking at this left side Phoenix.
And, you know, I've been giving her a little bit of hate tonight, but you know, fourth time seeing this Ishtar tonight. There's one thing I will say she is great at is just these tank shreds with her one two, the spread shot. Just phenomenal at shredding these things. As we see Corbin just not even
Cor-
care, just goes in.
Corbin goes in. Catches two with his ultimate, does not find the kill, but it is enough to burn a couple relics and dashes and take their health bars down below half. And now, with this Jungle Jing Wei just wailing on this mid tower, they might be looking for the final Phoenix in this game. And 26 minutes in, Fire Giant coming close to wearing off of them. The priests are looking to really set up a fight, and I'm not sure if you're the journeyman, you actually want to take this Phoenix, or maybe you do as the mannequin Sylvanas really just getting shredded down. And with double ADC now, given only one of them has the Fire Giant buff, but with
Oh,
double ADC, I think that they might be able to take this Phoenix zombie forced to fall back. And with the Emp's armor, that is the go button. And Josh the Landlord deletes power. The Wrath of Terror catches Gumbo, but that's all. Gumbo pack gets one. Corbin gets one. You get one. You get a kill. You get a kill. Everyone gets a kill. That's a deicide. And that will be the game. The Titan will fall. Journeyman 2-0, the Priest.
I just gotta give that a hands off to recognizing the journeyman, recognizing get Gumbo ahead and get Corbin, you know, where he's able to just get these rotations started. I think that was just good recognition on their part.
It really was. And when you look at the top players, you have to look at Corbin on this Hades, Josh the Landlord on this Hera, and yes, Gumbo on this Jungle Jingwei.
You know,
Go ahead and preach your preach your uh
I'll,
preach your
I'll,
gospel. Preach your
I'll say,
gospel.
I'll say it one more time for the kids that want to practice this at home with their scrims under the parent supervision. You know, just play like it's Mercury. You know, you don't want to fight much till you get that crit online. As you saw, he went the Devos route. Wasn't doing much unless his team was allowing him to secure a kill. You just want to get that Jingwei ahead, and then that Jingwei can run as you saw this game for you. Big believer in Jingwei jungle. Just gotta be played in the hands of a patient jungle with a team willing to just feed it ahead.
If you want to look at a quiet performance, because we're gushing on the Jungle Jingwei, the Mannequin Sylvanas, the Thanatos that unfortunately couldn't get going. Brokazoid really stepped up. Like there were at least 5 Scarab's blessings in that game that I was just amazed by. He
I
really stepped up, and you gotta if you get this is the point where yes, the numbers look big in the KD department for everyone else on the team. You give that you give that game ball over to your Kepri.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. Brock, I had said it before the set, you know, coming in, I knew of him, phenomenal player. Able to put that work in there with that Kepri this game. Saw it with the Emoji on the first game, a bunch of great wall offs with that Emoji ult.
Yeah, it really was. And I know I was harping on it. Mannequin Sylvanas was not the reason they lost that game. They lost that game because they didn't get the early pressure that their comp was designed around. You look at Cupid, you look at Sylvanas, you look at even Sylvanas without mannequins is the same way. You're looking for early pressure. But mannequins with Sylvanas with mannequins, yes, you especially are looking for that early pressure. But with the Cupid, the Achilles, the Sylvanas, the Baba, especially the Thanatos, they were a team built around early pressure and they just couldn't get going.
Yep, I agree with you 100% on that. You know, going into this game, we were talking about the two ways to build Sylvanas. I'm personally more a fan of that supporty Sylvanas. You know, you get those heals off. You know, I think he's one of the few gods that can still proc. What is it, Lotus Crown? Very well. That does the procs on the healing.
Yes, it is Lotus Crown.
Yeah, I feel he's one of the good healers that can still proc that pretty well from the support standpoint. Um, I think you need that supporty Sylvanas if you're gonna run him. Like I pointed out, all 4 games I believe now. Ishtar just have an insane clear to be able to get that pressure. It doesn't really matter who you pair her with, just that one clear is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't remember, but I believe this Mannequin Sylvanas. Yes, you're still not Pyros. You're still Mannequin Sylvanas. I believe you had he had the Phase Hoops Blessing as
Yeah,
well. And so, can you imagine? I, this is very hypothetical. Oh, he did have Lotus Crown as well. So he had Phase Hoop and Lotus Crown, and I feel like you just get so much survivability with that. But because he really wasn't able to survive himself, I just don't think that he got any worth out of that. And I think that's one of the reasons you don't see Sylvanas hardly at all. And you can say this sort of the same thing with Thanatos. Why don't we see him a whole lot? Because he's such a wild card. He is literally go big or go home. You either start off with a 5 level lead, especially against a late game god like Jing Wei. You either start off with a 5 level lead and carry the game, or you don't, and you are just an alt bot come late game.
yep. Really, mainly the biggest thing Sylvanas brings is not just that heal, but that setup, and it's like you point out. Just they weren't able to capitalize when in the points they needed to. We saw Zombie get first blood. Jang Wei still keeping up, was just able to go for that farm. Like I had pointed out, Jang Wei, you gotta feed the Jang Wei jungle if you try to run this. And I just feel the journeymen were able to, like I said, recognize those facts they needed. Get Gumbo ahead, give him the farm. We saw I had mentioned it during the game. Let him completely have solo lane for a while because he was so far ahead of Titan, and just letting Corbin do the rotating, getting those ults, getting that team able to pop off, get in there.
For real, but for now, that's all. The Journeyman 2-0 for the Priests in pretty convincing fashion as well in both games. But that is going to be all for us tonight. Don't forget, we are doing another set tomorrow, casting another set tomorrow, and that will be Abyss Division. So those are the big boys. You really got to tune in for that. But for now, my name has been Raptor. His name has been Uchi. And you have been the beautiful quackers and quackettes that you are. And thank you for watching.
Oh my God. Either way, have a good night, everybody.